Hey guys, Gunpla again, once again with some more new loot. And this time around, it's some pretty special loot. These two kits were sent to me by my good buddy and fellow Gunpla enthusiast, Jeremy Lapis, also known as AreaSevenPro. So first of all, a big thank you for sending these my way. And let's have a look at them. On the one side, we have the Gunpla Starter Set Vol.2, which includes the G30th. And on the other side, we have the new Gundam, the old one from the Shar's Counterattack model kit line. Now, the one thing me and Jeremy definitely have in common is our love for the old style model kits. And I have to say, Shar's Counterattack is one line I should get a few more kits of, and I'm definitely planning to. The only two I have at the moment are the Doga I got through Matthias, and then the Jagen. And also, Jagen is the only one that I've built so far. The Jagen I got a long time ago, back when that was the only Jagen available. You know, even before that high-grade Universal Century. And even that is already getting on a few years. So, this thing I'm actually very excited to see how it turns out, because looking at the side of the box, you know, just looking at its straight build, this already looks like it's better than most of the wing and even most of the X kits. Just, you know, you have the covers at the top of the feet, actually a lot of color separation going on. So let's crack this baby open and for the moment get rid of the G30. Oh, and before we crack it open, one funny thing is system injection seems to also refer to just having multiple colors on one single runner, even though nowadays, you know, it's mostly referring to having the multiple colors on one single part. Also, staples to keep the box together. This is, I believe, something they did for most of the Shar's Counterattack kits. And when we look inside, screws. And yes, if I remember correctly, most, if not all, of the Shar's Counterattack kits do in fact need screws. Even though I don't think my Jagen came with this key contraption in order to fasten the screws. I just had to use my own screwdriver. This does seem to require a lot of screws. I mean, my Jagen didn't have that much as far as like, no, it definitely didn't have that many. But you know, just going back to the colors, this definitely looks like a lot of color separation going on. Even the black for the arms, the red, this is even the red that's going to go on the back skirts. But even the red plate inside of the chest. So just in terms of color separation, this is definitely not bad for the time. I've seen wing kits with a lot worse color separation. And even as far as proportions are concerned, not too bad. No, I would say throw in the eye stickers and you'd easily have something that would fit right in with Wing, G, and Gundam X. So for the time, 87, this was pretty phenomenal. Even the little detailing going on here. You know what, I take it back. This is not something that's on par with the wing kits. This is something that's better than the wing kits. Now, does it have waist articulation? I forgot to look. Nah, no waist articulation. That is something that still had to be invented. And even the arms are going to be screwed in. Surprise, surprise, Bazooka has a movable handle. That is also something that's pretty uncommon at the time. So yeah, action, definitely. Iropra, color plastic, definitely has that as well. And when you look at the stuff that has to be painted, you know, it's all pretty minor stuff. Also looks pretty easy to paint because the most of the stuff you're painting is black or gray on the white pieces. And it does seem like we're only getting one beam saber, and that is the big beam saber. We don't get the smaller beam saber that's mounted onto the arm. Oh, it looks like I just ordered a check to make sure that everything was included, and we do in fact have everything. Next up, we have the Gunpla Starter Set Vol.2 featuring the G30th. Now, throughout some of my reviews, I haven't been the nicest about this model kit. And I will be honest, most of my opinions were based on seeing, well, other people review this thing. So I wonder if having the actual model kit change my opinion on it. One thing for sure, it is a nice set. It's supposed to come with some kind of booklet, which will give you instructions on how to build the model kits. And the funny thing is, I had the RX-78-2 High Middle Century I got also came with this kind of booklet or like a big leaflet or something like that also gave you like the little hints of the Gundam marker and how to modify it to make it better. So I've never been able to find out what it was. The box has long gone missing, but it's cool to have a set that's similar to that. And it's not the other Gunpla starters that also came with the Zaku. Mine was actually only an RX-78 too. So it's cool to see that this is kind of a similar set. So let's crack this thing open and see the contents. So first of all, looks like we're getting a single leaflet that, well, what do you know? How to make Gunpla featuring the G30th. And we're getting a leaflet featuring the original RX-78-2 High Century. Example is High Century RX-78-2 Gundam model. Well, take your Gunpla to another level using Gundam marker sold separately. I really hope they mean the inking pen. Now, I've kind of been feeling they included this with the wrong model kit, and this was not what I got with my original RX-78-2. You know, I was expecting something slightly more in that. Oh, there we have the Gundam marker. It's a gray one, and hey! There we go. That's more like it. Let's first of all have a quick look at our guide, because I actually wonder what kind of techniques they're going to show us. Tools, how to remove nut marks, place the polycaps, placing the stickers, and I don't know if I still have the book of my High Century RX-78-2, but it really feels similar to this. Even the blue background, believe it or not. Yeah, like the kind of weathering. Yeah, going along the sides to give it more of a metallic feel. That's actually not a bad thing. I should try that out sometime. So yeah, this is by all means a very useful guide. Mr. Cement Deluxe. Now what's that supposed? Is there a Mr. Cement Deluxe? Does anyone know what the difference is between Mr. Cement Deluxe and the regular Mr. Cement? So yeah, we get some. Huh. I'm not entirely sure. You know, to be honest, this one looks slightly better, and this one looks slightly better, and I think this one is supposed to be the good one. Yeah, I can't say. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this one though. Yeah, still a very nice guide, and you know, if you get this as your first model kit, this is definitely a cool guide to have if you're just starting out. So, looking at what we get here. The colors are definitely nice looking. We have an orangey red, orangey yellow. The red looks nice. The blue, nice and bright. Kind of greenish gray though. We have the usual polycaps, and we get a gray Gundam marker. Interesting. I usually use black, so it's going to be interesting to see how gray works out. And the cool thing with this is that it's one of the only model kits that comes with the Hyper Hammer. And this one even has a metallic keychain to it. So you could technically attach it to your backpack. Now the only other model kit in 1/44 scale that has the Hyper Hammer is the really old weapon set from the original Gundam. And instead of having this chain, it has, well, it has a plastic chain. So there are some pros and cons to it. This has a really cool looking iron chain or metallic chain, whereas the old one, you know, it's just plain plastic. But the good thing about it is you can bend it if you use a blow dryer, and you can put it in an actual pose. So this looks cool. The other one is posable, unless you, of course, use an action base specifically for this thing. You know, interesting. The one thing I never liked about this is the really wide handle. It makes it so that you cannot hold it with the left fist hand. Also, what is absolutely ridiculous about this model, this is one of the last model kits in 1/44 scale that is some kind of, this is considered a high grade. Yeah, G30 is considered a high grade, though not a high grade Universal Century. And the Alex was the final high grade Universal Century that used this kind of fucking beam saber. This thing came after the Alex, and it's still used, that goddamn beam saber. I mean, come on. I'll be honest, that is one of the reasons I was never too fond of it. Also, the manual seems much more subdued than we would regularly get with our high grade Universal Centuries. So there are definitely some signs here that it's not a high grade Universal Century, but just a regular high grade. So that's all for this new loot video. Once again, a big thanks to Jeremy, or AreaSevenPro. And the final thing we gotta ask ourselves is, as always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And that question will be answered next time.